wanting to prioritize these early lock-ins of the likes of the Aphelios, and something that I've been kind of surprised to see slip through the cracks here has been the likes of that set. Has been so strong in other regions, even in the LPL. We put a high priority on it, but it hasn't been coming through just yet.
Certainly hasn't, and Puff decides that the Aphelios was certainly not the problem. Going to lock that one in, and we're going to have a rinse and repeat here. It's the Miss Fortune and Trundle. The answer once again for FPX. I mean, if I'm FPX in this draft and IG are going to go for the same thing, we just won the game. I'm more than happy to go for the same draft again.
And it feels like IG are just kind of like, okay, well, what worked in the last game? Well, the Azir worked, let's lock that in. Let's get the Thresh for SouthWind, which I do definitely agree with here. It means, though, TheShy potentially will be looking to try and get a counter pick, but if I'm FPX, I don't care. I'm just going to leave Khan's pick until that last rotation, lock in a jungler on our first pick, and then you're still caught out in this situation where IG are giving both counter picks over to FPX.
Yep, FPX have both of their solo laners remaining for their final two picks, and as you rightly say, with the mid lane already locked in for IG, that first lock-in can be the mid lane. But now on towards the bans here. Bear in mind, Graves was already taken off the board. Trundle already locked in. FPX could start to pinch that jungle pool, and Ning's played it twice so far. Why not remove that Lee Sin?
And it does reasonably well against the Trundle as well. It's kind of one of the picks that can go up against it, so getting that off the board. I also want to look over towards IG banning away some of these mid laners. I wouldn't imagine that Nautilus is going to be going towards the mid lane against the Azir. It's a pretty terrible matchup for the Nautilus. So I imagine banning away Syndra, some of these picks instead that can have a good time against the Azir would work a lot better for IG's side.
Things like the Olaf still available. The Jarvan as well has completely fallen off a cliff in priority. It's something that we've seen as a first pick, first ban across a lot of the split. Could be something that Ning could lean to, or FPX could look towards banning.
Definitely a possibility, but does struggle against the Trundle because, of course, he's got the Subjugate there, so can steal away a bunch of those stats. I think I'd prefer to see Tian, or not Tian even, Ning go back towards a little bit of a different style, maybe going over towards the likes of even a Gragas could work super well here. It was what put him at that 2018 MVP in Worlds, and I think could be such a crucial pick here for trying to disrupt the engage that FPX have right now.
Honestly, even though you've got an AP mid laner, I'd love to see an Elise and then go for a Renekton in the top lane. Get TheShy on something that he can dominate the lane with. It's not something that I know TheShy for, the Renekton pick certainly, but at least it's a usable duo, and I'm sure TheShy can play that Renekton for himself. We'll see where FPX want to go in this mid lane up against the Azir though.
It looks like they're going to try and match at least scaling with scaling. Cassiopeia or Viktor can do both that. Viktor, essentially this lane turns into a wave clear scenario where they're both just going to push and wait for those later game fights where the control mages can try and take over. We do see Ning though at the moment hovering that Gragas. I think if IG are opting into the same strategy of poke and disengage, Gragas fits that build perfectly here.
We'll see if they do decide to go for the Gragas. It's certainly something that Ning will be proficient on. He's been a player long enough where he has to, but we got a Zac locked in. 100% win rate so far, because it's been picked once.
By Ning. This is the Ning special. This is something that he loves to bring out, and I'm looking forward to seeing now IG having that guaranteed engage, and especially when I'm looking towards Viktor and I'm looking towards Miss Fortune, these mobile carries that aren't, unmobile carries, that's exactly who you want to jump onto.
Do it, Khan. Lock it in. Have the reverse of the matchup. I would absolutely adore to see that.
You can't see much right now, but he is hugging the desk in anticipation of this pick.
You know, the Fiora I'd take as well. Both signatures for Khan, both kind of style picks, and we get to see it in the
and
top
this is
lane.
something Khan has picked over and over into this Aatrox matchup. He will dominate from the top lane, and when you've got fantastic wave clear with Viktor, with Miss Fortune, you've got these tanky frontliners in Crisp and Tian, it gives the option for Khan to just split push all the live long day.
We get to see Khan's Fiora. That's all I'm taking away from this draft, honestly. I've just got giant love heart eyes over towards Khan right now, because I want to see him on the split push roll. I want to see him dominating that lane, and TheShy has had a really rough top lane so far this series, and this is Khan's opportunity to really show why he deserves to be on this roster. Bear in mind, this is the guy that won the LCK twice in 2019. He was on that SKT roster that looked so powerful within Korea. And now moving over to FPX, there have been so many questions about him, but with his signature pick in a great matchup in the top lane, surely this is the game to prove it.
And this is why we highlighted the Fiora when we came into today's series for Con. It's his 4th time playing this champion, and he has looked spectacular every single time. Now, he has losses on this champion, but a lot of that was off of FPX misplaying the map, more so than Con misplaying. So I'm excited to see what he can do now against TheShy, and it really does feel like this is where Con is going to put his stamp on his control on that top side of the
map. So we've talked a lot about the one signature pick in Fiora for Con. On the other side of the board, though, we got a Zach for Ning as well. So how does that fit into this equation?
So essentially what Ning is going to be trying to do here is get the engages to prevent Con from setting up for this split push. Zach, renowned for his long engages, how he can change how a team operates on the map because you've got to ward in such unusual places to spot out Zach. So Ning will try to lock down Doinb, Lwx, and set up for IG to win in the 4v4, relieving the pressure from TheShy in the split push.
FunPlus 加油 FunPlus 加油 IG 加油 IG 加油
The Gyos come through, the fans are ready, and we've got some crazy cameras going on because it's game number 3 here. It's match point in favor of FPX, and we've got Khan's Fiora, we've got Ning's Zach, and we're ready to jump into game 3 and see what IG have left in the tank.
And this is where you have to put it all on the table as IG. This is potentially their last game in the spring split if it is lost, but certainly their last series. And they will want to make sure that they're pushing into that 3rd place spot, picking up these 10 championship points. But again, this is where Khan on his Fiora will look to be the gatekeeper for their success.
Well, the Colonel is a long-time Ning fan, he was telling me the other day, and since that Zach's come on through, he's like, you know what, 53%. I'm going to give him a whole 3 bonus percent just for that pick alone. Me and the Colonel go way back, by the way. But now let's talk about the game, because we've got Khan in a very interesting position. Oh, nearly got the ward there. Sorry, it was TheShy in an interesting position. Khan couldn't quite get the ward there.
Tian, though, looking to split the map, which is giving the opportunity for Khan to just take over in this top lane. So this is a really good call from FPX. And as a Zach, it's really difficult for you to try and break this because you just don't clear very quick, and your 1v1 duel potential is no match for this Trundle.
And Khan knows about that 1v1 potential right there, as he's going to try and force the play onto TheShy. And this is going to be a rough laning phase for TheShy because, you know, when you're Aatrox, all of your strength is hitting those sweet spots. Fiora can dodge them very easily. 2v2 after 2v2 going on in this bottom lane, though, and Crisp is not enjoying it.
He takes a lot of damage in the early stages. Good play from SouthWind to set up for success on the bottom side, but I want to come back, of course, to this top lane matchup. This is the important lane for this game, and as you're talking about, as an Aatrox, you want to be hitting these sweet spots. You can either just dodge them as Fiora with that dash away, or tank them and riposte to set up for a play of your own, and do the same off those Infernal Chains. So this is all Khan favored and how he wants to play this matchup, and already getting that push in.
Ning is going for a very aggressive invade. We've seen this before, and FPX answered it pretty well last time. He got the wolf for himself, but he's going to be forced into his passive with one more auto. And Doinb is here, and I'm sure that they'll donate that over to the Viktor. It's underneath the blue buff. It does finally get finished off by Tian.
He couldn't quite kill it off underneath the blue, and does mean, though, Doinb doesn't get the kill. Will pick up the blue buff because you had Tian already securing the blue on the opposite side of the map. So now FPX, again, getting the first blood in this game. And FPX are one of the teams that are amazing at just snowballing off of these early leads. We've seen it so far in this series. We've seen it throughout the spring split. An 82% win rate off of just that first blood. FPX are looking to get the ball rolling.
So, random pro tip for you guys at home. If you're ever in that situation where the Zac blob is underneath the blue buff, there is actually a keybind you can set that targets champions only. I'm amazed that Doinb
actually, like, this is does it work when
yes,
it's a minion? Because
yes,
technically it's as a minion when he's in blood form.
Oh, maybe he doesn't count as a champion.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I think it's
surely he does.
No, he's genuinely a minion. That's why he can smite the blobs as well. So I don't think that key binding would work.
Okay, well, there you go. It's a random amateur tip, not a random pro tip. So apologies for that one. And this is why you're the analyst, Doctor. Because when I do come out with random nonsense, you're here to put me in my
and this
place.
is the one time when people like it. If you just spout random facts at people sometimes, they get rather annoyed and just think you're a know-it-all. But it's my job to just be the know-it-all here, and it just allows me to just be obnoxious as much as I want.
Which is completely the same as usual.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You live with me, you know.
All right, let's get back into the game here because IG, they're making a play. They know that Khan's good on this Fiora, but they say how good. They say, do you want to go for a 1v3, my friend? And Khan says yes as he gets pulled back in, ignited, but he dashes away. Answered by the flash from TheShy.
Finally, we see IG having an answer in this top side of the map, giving pressure to TheShy, and will shut down Khan. Now, this is not enough to try and stop Khan's snowball. It needs to be at least another 1 or 2 ganks that way, but Puff on his own in the bottom lane.
Puff was the one diving last time, but he was on his own. Crisp is happy to take the tower, flashes away barely with his life. Lwx would chase down for 1 kill. Rookie gets the other, but a TP channeled. Actually, a flash has to come out from Lwx, but he sacrificed his own life just to get this kill. Rookie's here, TheShy is here, and Lwx goes down. Finally, TheShy has a lead.
Doinb as well might be in a bit of trouble here from Ning. No other members here from IG though, so we will be able to step away. But IG getting the double TP, now getting the kills, and they're the ones eventually getting a gold lead in this series.
So, you said that the first kill wasn't going to be enough for him to have an advantage in the top lane. Oh, he denies the dash there. Rookie forced to flash. Tian's here. Chaos Storm through. Rookie goes down. Now on Southwind as well. No, Tian backs away.
The early games in this series have been bonkers. Kills back and forth. Doinb now has 2 assists with all those kills going over to Tian. It's heartbreaking for Doinb, but he will get some turret plating for himself.
Hey, he gets a bit of gold. He's 10 CS up. He's got a turret plate. He's feeling all right off of this one. With an Infernal Drake is the first one as well here for FPX. 3-3 on the scoreboard, but the gold lead is in favor of FunPlus Phoenix.
So, I want to go back to your point, though, because 2 kills for TheShy will definitely even out this top lane for a little while. It's still, though, that you're relying heavily on your auto attacks as the Aatrox. We're going to rewatch this play, though, because you can see here, great play from FPX. And Tian, once again, holding on to these Trundle pillars for so long, after the flashes come out, using them to keep the enemy in check, and they're able to get on towards Rookie.
I would have loved to see that kill donated over to Doinb there, because that was pretty much guaranteed. The flash had already been used, the dash had already been used. So Tian, though, grabs himself an extra kill. And honestly, on the Trundle, you can definitely use an early lead.
So coming back to this top lane, why you want to try and get so many resources into TheShy on this Aatrox is because you have to rely so heavily on your auto attacks in this lane, because your Infernal Chains won't stick, your Dark and Blade won't stick.
Nice little hook from Southwind, and Crisp could be in trouble here. Bullet time, though, is huge. Puff might answer with his own life on this one, 1 for 1. And Southwind's alone, has to back away.
Support for AD carry, you'll take them as Lwx can push in this wave now and look to extend this advantage that he's gotten when it comes to CS. Top lane though, Tian versus Shy.
Here we go, this time it's TheShy that's outnumbered. Pillar still available, no flash here. Khan's not gone into the fight just yet. He's too busy worrying about the minion wave. Doinb now arriving as well. Everybody arriving from both sides.
See in River, IG have the support here, so FPX need to be careful. But both sides trying to get involved in this top lane brawl.
FPX's bot lane has already moved up, though. They want to go for the Herald right here. Blue buff is on the cards as well. TheShy wants to answer as he gets onto Tian, but the Chaos Storm here, the damage is huge onto Tian, though. Smite onto him. Ning trying to finish this kill off, but he's completely alone. And he's playing Zac. He doesn't have any damage. Into the blobs once again. This time there's no blue buff to save you. And Doinb finally gets one.
And FPX should be able to turn towards both this top lane to push it back out for Khan and this Rift Herald. IG Ning going too deep without support and pays the price.
And you know what? I was excited about this Zac pick for Ning. Greedy recall here, and a good amount of damage out from Puff as well, but they've got the follow-up. They've got return damage. Ignite won't be enough, and now it's Crisp who's the target, but Khan's arrived as well, and both teams walk away.
Still, though, a little bit of a mistake there from Doinb. Does cost his flash, does cost his ghost, and now maybe you have the opportunity for IG, knowing that they've delayed Doinb's back, to take this Rift Tower for themselves. That's a major error from FPX.
Puff playing with an entire network of turrets there for a second. But this will be the Herald for IG. And once again, I feel like I say this a lot, but it's not about getting the Herald, it's about how you're able to push the advantage with the Herald in your pocket. And we'll see where Ning opts to take this and find gold.
I'd love to see him use it on the bottom side of the map. Yes, the mid lane tower looks nice and juicy, but definitely if you can use that bottom lane push to get the turret down, extend the lane, you can try and open up Puff and SouthWind to make plays towards the mid side, or swap them up towards the top and relieve some of the pressure from TheShy, where he can push out this wave and not have Khan shove it back in as aggressively, taking turret plates for himself.
The shove in the bottom lane, though, very much in favor of Lwx. He's got himself a 30 CS lead right there on this Miss Fortune. And the Miss Fortune for Lwx has looked really amazing, honestly, this entire series. Khan with the Tiamat now will start to find this advantage once again in the top lane, because there is just no damage there for TheShy.
And you see the way TheShy is trying to play this. Watch as he hugs the wall, is to try and stop the proc from coming through, and you'll see him moving back and forth depending on where the proc is going to spawn. But Tian is here on the top side.
Yeah, Tian wants to make this play happen, and you can see Khan brute forcing this so that the minion wave gets underneath the tower. Riposte not going to land, though. This minion wave will be cleared away.
That would have been a dead shy if that riposte had landed, especially with the extra damage that comes in from the Grand Duelist Challenge, plus Tian waiting in the wings. They would have been able to chase him down very easily. So Shy barely getting away and not realizing just how close he was to death.
I think he did realize, because the way that Khan suddenly turned up the push, suddenly turned up the aggression, it's like, I smell a rat here, goes for the recall. But it does mean that Khan will find himself 2 tower plates straight away, maybe even more, because bear in mind, Fiora is a split push monster. 3 plates for him. Now Doinb happily just walks away from this play. Triple knock-up from Crisp, who flashes forward, tries to get the roots on here. Bullet time is pretty big as well. Rookie goes down, Ning will be shortly following. Double for Lwx off of a play that IG started. And
it's a disaster across the map now for IG. Not only do you have this losing top lane matchup, you are not winning in the 4v4. Khan now, he's feeling it.
He wants this 1v1 for himself. TheShy still goes in, though, and the healing is going to be absolutely huge from this passive here. But Khan actually isn't winning this one out. Needs to be careful. These Vitals aren't doing it because the execution is denying the sustain. But look at the outplay from Khan! What a 1v1. Rookie here to answer, though. Tries to make this good. Tries to answer for his teammate. The flash is there. Khan is the king of top lane.
Khan has come to the LPL and slapped down TheShy in the top side of the map. This is what I was looking for coming into this series. And the Fiora plays are too much to handle for TheShy.
What a play coming through. Puff, my man, what are you doing? The Moonlight Vigil, I don't know about that one. Now he goes in onto Lwx, doesn't have the damage. Crisp goes gold and keeps himself safe. Tian abandoned the AD carry, though, and Puff walks away with a kill. But it's at the cost of his own life. Tian will answer it in the end. 2 for 1. Now on towards the tower.
And Khan was one of those people who picked up the kill here. So now 2 kills for Khan. The Ravenous Hydra completed. Essence Reaver completed for Lwx as well. So both sides of the map for FPX have got very strong carries.
Uh-oh, Rookie's in trouble right here. Flash available. Used immediately. Keeps himself safe. And Tian, I don't know how deep you want to go on that one. You got no support from your team.
And we're 13.5 minutes into this game with a 4,000 gold lead for FPX. This is all just started to swing through the CS advantage in top, in bot, the turret plates that they've managed to pick up for themselves as well, on top of the 5-kill difference. FPX once again off to the start we expected from them in game number 3.
And when they can set the pace of the game to be this rocket speed coming out from FPX, this is where they really shine. This is where they really set themselves up for these huge victories. I don't think anyone got the gold there for the turret plays.
I want to come back to this, though, because this is a different FPX, but in a second...
Tian is going to get relatively low, but TheShy knows that he's in trouble there. Backs away, and this will be the first tower now, and a lot of gold going the way of Khan once again.
And this is the different FPX than what we saw in 2019. We talk about how they're starting to play more towards this top lane. Well, Khan getting some of these resources dedicated to him. And even with Doinb on this Viktor, still finding moments to get out of this mid lane, sitting at 1-0-6. He's been so influential in getting off to these side lanes and helping.
Oh, grand challenge once again. Khan wants a rematch. But with the tower there, decides it's time to back away. Decides maybe not right now.
Would have been very risky with TheShy's flash up. The opportunity for TheShy to reposition with the riposte down to get a knock up could have been very dangerous. But on the bottom side, IG using the pressure of Ning to try and threaten a dive onto Lwx, but that bullet time does such a great job of clearing out waves. Lwx will be able to remove the threat pretty handily.
One of the biggest strengths of having that Miss Fortune in the bottom lane, just being able to deal with the minion wave so handedly. They can't quite finish off this mid lane tower, but the pressure onto TheShy once again in this game. Now moving in to get this blue buff. And I don't think there's any answer here from the side of Ning. He's over on the bottom side of the map. Doinb grabbing that buff away, denying it from Rookie.
And IG are caught between a rock and a hard place right now because they'd love to go in towards River and get control towards Rift Herald, but with Doinb's fast push, especially with blue buff here, you can have FPX just trade that Rift Herald, grab the mid lane turret and the bottom lane turret off of the push, and IG can't do anything about it.
Just look at the plates, right? It's exactly what we were talking about before. When they can get this breakneck speed, they're great at trading these towers. SouthWind doesn't get the best of this trade, but Tian has to flash away because Ning's gone in. He's not that tanky just yet, though. Good hook from Chris to deter the play. And now into this mid lane. They've got the push advantage, and this will be the third tower. All three tier 1s removed, and IG answer with a Herald.
IG are completely out of position, though. FPX would just keep pushing.
FPX, they want the high-paced gameplay. Rookie's in trouble. Khan will finish this one off. He will get the healing, and he will survive the tower. TheShy wants revenge for his mid lane compadre and will find it. But in the meantime, it was Puff that went down. It's going to be 3 versus 3 right now. 2 for 2. The tier 2 still surviving for now. Looking for more. His Tian is here. Lwx still remaining. Doesn't have his ultimate as they move back into this mid lane. Once again, TheShy doesn't have a huge amount of HP to work with.
Tian not able to find the pillar onto Ning. SouthWind pressuring forward, see if he can get the hook onto Lwx.
Slow onto Tian here, and TheShy wants to collapse SouthWind with a flash hook, and it's going to be Lwx. Flashes away to safety, pops the Cell Division, pops TheShy, and pops yet another advantage for FPX.
The bait from SouthWind. He thought he could set it up for the rest of IG to jump onto Lwx. Flash away, and it's a good day for FPX as they turn towards this dragon. The third one for them in this game. And FPX, once again, are rolling ahead of IG.
This is a really rough series for IG. This has been a really rough playoffs for IG. Bear in mind, this is your first seed from the regular season.
And it really doesn't look like it. Khan getting the kill onto Rookie. Now you do have TheShy who gets a little bit too far forward, but as we look at this top side, it's, the pop goes the weasel. It's all across the board, FPX taking over, and this is just beautiful.
It's going to be, what, 6,000 gold lead at 17, 18 minutes. Khan barely dodges a hook, and actually could be in a whole heap of trouble, because the whole team from IG is moving down, but he's able to get away for himself.
I want to draw people's attentions, though, to one of the clips we did see from Khan, where if you put this pressure onto him, he's the ability to turn multiple man plays around on this Fiora pick. Trying to do so right now.
Here's his chance. He's onto SouthWind with the grand challenge, but the riposte isn't enough. And he's going to be shut down there. Kill over to Ning.
Could do it against B5, but IG are literally the opposite end of the table, so not quite able to do it against Invictus Gaming. FPX, though, off the play on the bottom side, will net themselves this top lane turret. Nobody here to defend.
Nicely done here by FPX to continue to sweep up this gold around the map, continue to extend that gold lead. I'd said it just 30 seconds ago, it was 6,000, now it's up to 7.
And where do you try and fight back as IG? Khan putting way too much pressure on these side lanes means that you have to invest multiple members into dealing with the Fiora split push. They will get this mid lane turret, but how do you try and get anything else off the back of this? FPX are doing a great job with Doinb and Lwx controlling mid wave. You've even got Doinb now pressuring off towards the side lane to pick up a bit of farm for himself. IG need some mistake from FPX to come back to get tempo advantage and try and shut down the pressure that Khan is exerting.
And I would argue that they've got about 3 minutes to make that happen, because the Mountain Drake will be spawning at that point in the game. That would be solved for FPX if they're able to get it. Ning wants to find the fight here. Bullet time comes through and he immediately answers for it. Pulls the AD carry back into the fray, but Lwx is still fine here. He could just out-damage Ning's health bar right now. Puff flashes forward. He's trying to find Lwx. Can he get the autos down? Tian's here, and the damage from the love tap. Can't finish the kill. Now onto TheShy with the Chaos Storm ticking away. He'll fall as well. Double for Khan. He is longing for a worthy opponent, but he just won't find it in this series.
Oh,
double for Doinb on top of everything else.
This is FPX running away. It doesn't matter, IG, that you finished top of the regular season. FPX are knocking you down every peg on the rung. 2-0 right now. FPX looking to make this a clean sweep.
This is a brutal game number 3. This is looking like game number 1. We saw in the second matchup that IG had something in their tank. They were able to fight tooth and nail, but this Zac pick from Ning, is just not working out.
Nothing is working out for IG in this game. And now you have to try and contest at this Dragon Pit. You're already losing fights against the team that wants to split push. And it starts off here where Ning trying to get on towards Lwx and set up to kill people. But Chris with that Gargoyle Stoneblade, way too tanky, even for both the Azir and the Aphelios trying to knock him down. And this was really unfortunate from Puff. I thought he'd be able to get the kill here.
Oh God, had dashed over towards SouthWind. An AD carry just appears on the end of his sword. He's like, all right, well, I'll have that one as well then, I guess.
And look at Khan. Triforce completed, Ravenous Hydra completed. He is in full swing here. And look at the rest of the team as well. Luden's Echo is alongside that upgraded item for Viktor. He's going to be hitting like a truck. You've got the double BF sword combo for the Miss Fortune as well.
Oh, the recall is denied from TheShy. Lantern's there, SouthWind keeps the top laner safe, but with the Baron here, look at the time on the clock right now. We're 21 minutes in. How are they so far ahead? FPX continue the siege here. Tian pushing forward. The tier 2 will fall. Khan split pushing in the top lane in the meantime. He's looking towards an inhibitor tower.
And with Triforce, he's going to take it. There is nobody here to stop this. Khan has got this turret.
This is the dream scenario for all Fiora players around the world. Being able to just solo out an inhib tower with Baron while your team has pressure elsewhere. Look at the death rate. That's half of Puff's health.
It's getting its namesake right there. FPX. Oh, hang on. Khan might be looking for more here.
Khan's fine.
No, I think he's going to kill TheShy. That's what I'm worried about here.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that one, but I think he just wants this inhibitor, at least for now. Goes in onto TheShy, though, still has his Grand Challenge. It's just going to be half of TheShy's health, and then he's going to back away. World Ender was used, Grand Challenge comes on in, he wants the 1v1. TheShy flashes away, back onto the inhibitor. Now the rest of the fight, Rookie went too deep, and he's taken down. Puff will follow as well. Give him the third triple. Lwx can't quite finish off his triple kill here, and it's Doinb that steps forward to try and finish SouthWind. TheShy in trouble here, finished off. Was it the triple? I don't think it was. Lwx going to be heartbroken on the back of that one, but you know what? He's going to finish the Zac blobs anyway, but he goes down to the tower. Executed there. Just like FPX execute IG at World Semifinals. It was 3-1 for them. They've upped the score with a 3-0 win.
That was impeccable from FPX. From start to finish, they control that game. They controlled it from draft, the early game setup for Fiora's Khan on Fiora in the top lane, to then have even the rest of the map just winning out in these 4v4s. IG never got a look in that game.
And IG is the team that we think about having individual dominance. We think of these players being the best in class, right? That's not what we saw today. Khan especially stepping up in the top lane, and TheShy having one of the worst best of fives I think he's had in his career.
Yeah, Con was just running away with this. There was no way TheShy was able to answer at all. And look, even in the 1v1s, they were relatively even until that last game. But the second you saw any sort of attention coming through from FPX, TheShy crumbled, and then it was Con just taking over completely because he's got the CS, the experience, the kill lead as well.
Yeah.
There was just no way for IG to find that solo lane dominance and push it into their advantage.
And do you know what, Dagda? I'm a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping for a full 5 games here. I was hoping for back and forth. I was hoping for game 2 5 times over. But FPX showing right here that they are the dominant squad. They are the ones that are going to grab themselves 3rd place. They get themselves 10 extra championship points as well, which will matter. And now that LPL has 4 qualification spots for Worlds, the first one being an auto qualifier, every championship point will matter when it comes to summer.
Yeah, and FPX will be looking to make sure they are the ones advancing, and you would imagine that IG would have been looking to do the same, but it never felt like IG really showed up throughout this series. The lanes weren't quite working in their favor. The draft, this heavy priority on the solo lanes, giving the counter picks over to FPX, really stung them to start things off, and it continued throughout the series.
And Doinb on this Viktor with massive, massive damage, but importantly, he was able to just go off to the side lanes. Once again, he was able to split push just like on this Twisted Fate. Viktor, great on the split push role, but I really want to talk about Khan, because Khan, we got to see his signature Fiora. We got to see him succeeding on FPX, and that was one of the big questions coming into today, because we haven't seen this version of FPX really succeed this split. It's been a little bit all over the place, and it's been Gimgoon that they found their wins with, but Khan, maybe they finally found the way to match the jigsaw pieces together.
And the reason that they struggled so heavily when they were trying to match this together was oftentimes Lwx and Crisp were being exposed a little bit due to the lack of pressure. But Lwx and Crisp has found the opportunity now to take a step back, find themselves situated in a bot lane where they don't have those resources dedicated to them. We still saw a little bit of a muddy water there for parts of it, but definitely they're able to play a safer style, what allows them to play through top, allows Doinb to start roaming up towards the top side of the map instead of constantly going for this 4v2 dive, and you can see the results. Khan here looked exceptional where he's given those resources on the Fiora and able to carry that lane through top side as alongside the rest of the team looking great in the 4v4.
Yeah, on the other side of the map as well, I want to talk a little bit about Puff here, because it felt like Puff feels the pressure of the fact that he's replacing JackeyLove. And multiple times during these games, we saw him going for flash plays and like trying to make things happen. And in the regular split, we saw him doing this occasionally, and it was working out. Here, though, it felt like he was doing this as a solo play entirely. I mean, he solo dived the tower. You know, everyone makes one huge mistake, right? We'll give you that one. But multiple times he would flash onto Lwx, but he'd trade his own life for it as the rest of FPX would answer the play. And it was like, sure, you get yourself a kill, but if it's costing you all of your summoners, if it's costing you everything that you have, it's not worth it at all as the main source of damage for the team.
And we talk about Puff being the insurance policy for these guys. Well, there's only so many times you can make a claim on that policy before the premium becomes way too much, and that's what it felt like in this game. Was every time you see a death go over from TheShy where Rookie's not able to make the play that he wants, or even with Ning not really having a performance that we expected from him, that was where you kept trying to get Puff, okay, please be the carry, please step up to be able to fill the shoes that have been left by the rest of IG, but they're just too big when you're that far behind of a gold deficit.
Yeah, and JackeyLove, he's on top esports right now. He's watching this series and he's cackling maniacally because he's definitely the one that got the best out of this deal, moving away to the team that's in the final against JDG. And IG, they're going to have a couple of weeks off now, at least before the summer season starts, or, you know, a few weeks. I'm not even sure how many weeks at this point. The dates are all somewhere, but I'm curious what IG will do to pull things together. But FPX, they've shown a much better version of themselves here today than what we saw in their semi-final against JDG.
I agree. I think they've looked far stronger, and we're still, though, seeing this mid-game messiness from them. And they really need to try and solidify that.
They're like the Caitlyn of the league. Really good in the early game, really good in the late game, not so good in the mid game.
And this is the problem that we're seeing is teams are looking to exploit that mid game weakness. We saw it against JDG, where even if FPX did get off to a great start, JDG just put them in their place once the mid game hit. And this is where they now need to try and strengthen it, especially as the world champions. You would expect them to be pushing on towards that number 1, number 2 spot in our spring split, but the curse just has come back again. You're not able to get that success after finishing off your world stint.
Yeah. And once again, I want to revisit what we started talking about right at the very start of the day, which is the head-to-head in that mid lane. It was Rookie against super carry Doinb, and honestly, Doinb had a great series here. I don't feel like he was the super carry. I feel like this was much more about Khan, and it was much more about Puff as well on the Miss Fortune multiple times there. But Rookie, Puff, sorry, Lwx. But Rookie really struggled to have any impact in this series. He looked okay on the Azir. It's not like it was mechanical issues coming out from Rookie, but he wasn't able to find any solo pressure onto Doinb. He wasn't able to find any opportunities to snowball.
Well, how do you when you're blind picking into Doinb every single time, and you know how deep Doinb's champion pool is? I think he's up to 19 unique champions played this split. He will play whatever the hell works against your champion, and he was able to, every single opportunity, go for whatever he wanted in that mid lane. We saw the Twisted Fate, we saw a bunch of different things come out, and it meant that there was never the opportunity for Rookie to get that lead snowballing, to use that win lane, win game style, because they're always on the back foot from the get-go.
Well, it's about time we announce our MVP for game number 3, and I mean, it couldn't go to anyone else. Khan grabs it with the Fiora pick. We get to see his signature, and we get to see him style on TheShy in that top lane.
Looked absolutely amazing. Even joining in the team fights and having the success there as well. And solo kills galore. Khan looks absolutely stellar on this champion. And why you cannot blind pick this Aatrox against FPX.
And I was so sure that TheShy had that right there, but able to reposition, able to make it happen in the end. And then he gets away when Rookie committed a TP to making this play.
And it was Rookie playing that well, where he wanted to hold off on the Emperor's Divide, but Khan throws out threw out the riposte. Then you have the play come through where Khan's able to flash away. It just wasn't quite working for Rookie, and that felt like the story of this game, where IG just couldn't quite get the plays they wanted set.
Yeah, IG struggling in this one, that has to be said, but all they're going to lose out on here is 10 championship points, so they've got time to rebuild now before summer. But I have to say, the biggest issue from my perspective here for IG, it's got to be the jungle role. We saw Lien struggling in their semi-final. We've seen Ning now struggling up against FPX. It feels like something needs to be changed there. The style of this team, as we're changing more and more players, perhaps needs to start to change as well.
I 100% agree. When you look towards this win lane, win game style, well, that's all well and good when you're playing against some of the bottom half of the table, but when you start looking at the caliber of players that we now have in our finals alone, but even starting to work our way down the list, we have incredible teams coming up like E-Star, all this new Rookie talent that looks absolutely stellar, and you've got to try and contend with these players, and unfortunately TheShy just hasn't been able to find the opportunity to play against them. Rookie as well can't just outright beat these players off of raw skill.
And not to mention the 2 squads that have made it to our finals, JDG and Top Esports. They are hungry